Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Here. I bet when we come to these meetings, we probably all have one goal in mind. That's to be better communicators. Why would we come to Toastmasters if we didn't want to be a better communicator, right? Well, the great thing about Toastmasters, I'm finding, is it's not only teaching about how to speak well, but body language, nonverbal communication. These are things I have struggled with all my life. I come from an autistic family. My mother is mildly autistic with Asperger's. Asperger's is a form of autism which is characterized by communication disorders. The people usually are very, extremely intelligent. They can be on the other end too. But the extremely intelligent kind of goes along in my family where they're so smart, they can't chew and walk and think at the same time because they'll run into the walls. I have doctors and lawyers in my family. I sometimes feel like I was cheated, but anyway. So, and my son, John Claude, is a very smart, intelligent kid. He has genius IQ, but he struggles with communication. He cannot read body language. If I stand in the same room, it's funny because he wears his favorite T-shirt is expressions of Darth Vader, and for instance, it says Darth Vader's happy. This is what John Claude sees. Darth Vader is excited. I'm excited. John Claude sees Darth Vader is frustrated. Oh, I can't get it. John Claude sees. John Claude, my son, just doesn't get the body language. Now, in school, they are learning things. He has a therapy group in high school. They are learning some things called social stories. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought the social stories are like Toastmasters, because giving a good speech is learning how to tell a good story with varied voice, with intonation, with gestures, with movement, with touching, well, not touching unless I have like a big stick. Anyway, but it's reaching out to you and it's reading those levels of communication. So in his social story group, he might have, the teacher will pick out and assign 2 students to work together. Their story will be about how to talk to someone who just lost their pet dog. Or maybe someone had a really exciting time, how to talk to somebody. And they'll have the kids work together. And like with the dog, it's everything from showing emotions. It's like consoling the person, learning how to lightly touch the shoulder, learning how that you have a contrite and humbled appearance and expression of sadness. It's a really neat thing. I went in and I sat in and I still kept thinking, this reminds me of Toastmasters, because I too have struggled with reading nonverbal cues. I was never really taught them because my mother too suffers from autism. And the funniest thing, when we were all kids in grade school, there's one song we probably all sang in common, and this is pretty much what they do in their social stories. And I bet you if I sang just a bar or 2 of it, you'd know exactly what it is. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And that sums up pretty much all they need to do. It's the whole organization with clapping your hands and knowing what to read. Now, what I wanted to tell you about is, when you speak to a room full of people, you have 1 out of 50 people are autistic. We have to tell our social stories. When we're up here, we're telling a social story. We are, in a sense, to convey a good speech. And what we must consider is that when you're using your gestures for autistic people, you probably have to use a lot more descriptive terms in your speech. I can't just sit there and smile. You know I'm happy. I'm so happy to be here. You have to say the word, I'm happy. Don't just assume people know it. Say the word. It's like when I told my son, if you don't know, ask the question. And if you don't know if someone in your audience is autistic, say the words. It kind of works hand in hand. With an autistic mind, I said 1 in 50 people have autism. I know Toastmasters teaches us concise, precise language, shows us good intonation, shows us hand movements, shows us movements, and eye-to-eye contact, all the things that a child struggles with. So what I wanted to leave you with today is simply this. Always consider 1 in 50 people might have autism, might not understand, and that might be their whole reason for being in Toastmasters, is they want to get those skills they never learned as a kid or struggled with all their life. Thank you very much.